All right, I am here with a legend, honey. So I just been asking everybody about the whole court system. Now, your title is what caught me the most because when they announced her, honey, she's got all of these like mother realms and all this other stuff. So could you explain to my audience what it is?
Yes. The titular head of our organization, which is a giant 501c3 in California, which is the United States, Canada, and Mexico, was given the title when she was anointed Queen Mother of the Americas. And so as we are all sort of elevated in our own realms, those of us who she chooses to acknowledge with a special title, she has made us Queen Mother. So there's 4 of us Queen Mothers in the United States as well that she has sort of seated underneath her. And so Massachusetts had a specific situation where our organization had a few years of not too many fundraisers, not raising a lot of money, not a lot of involvement in the community, and so I was put there in charge of keeping track of the history.
So that was my next question. So your actual responsibility is as the realm mother. So within everything, you are to make sure everything is running copacetic through the chapter bylaws and make sure the fundraisers are going. So how many charities are you planning to do per year, or is it any specific number, or is it just what you feel within your heart?
What we have done when I took over, basically, I did not want to see our court lose its 501c3 status, and I do a lot of fundraising for one particular organization that I do 3 or 4 fundraisers a year that are quite large and substantial. So the court knew that if I was doing those anyway, they could keep the 501c3 alive. So for me, the Boston Living Center is in my neighborhood. It started with the whole advent of HIV and AIDS, caring for our own people in our community, and it was as simple as getting you lunch on Wednesday, getting you a portable toilet for your bathroom, getting you a ride to the doctors that wasn't available. We had AIDS Action Committee, which actually provided service and medication and doctors and all kinds of incredible stuff, but not the real basics. Nobody knew, even for my friends, to be honest with you, I'm of the age where we had, undertakers that wouldn't take us, wouldn't take my friends. We couldn't get our friends buried in Boston. We couldn't get it taken care of. So we started this organization, and so that is my baby. But our members are free to raise money for anything they want other than political causes. So any 501c3, honestly, any 501c3.
So what do you suggest, and what would you, as the Queen Mother of Western Mass, what would you say to somebody? Because because of my schedule, I do a lot of different things, and I love charity, and I always sponsor Nelson, and I love Nelson to death, and I love you to death, I follow you, and all the other good stuff. What would you give a key point besides doing this, because this is what we need to do as a humanity? We're one step closer because now we're legitimate, we're getting married and all that good stuff. But our humanity, I still think, is missing when it comes to things like this. It's a shame that as a gay community, we got to wait for something like this for us to come together when we're not doing it on a day-to-day basis. So anybody who's passionate about joining the court, what advice would you give to them, being that you oversee it all? You are it.
The best thing about the court is that the court can be anything you want it to be. If you want it to be your life and you want it to take on a certain role in your life that is of that importance, that's great. But if you only have one day a year, there are 100 different events that we do. Bowling, back to school, fund drives, all these different things that we do, that if you have one particular thing that is your passion, you can get involved like that. Or what normally happens is we really find that we build a little family, a community, and there is that monthly meeting, the monthly membership meetings, the different events that are booked that are just a chance to get together, say hi, and you might not be, best girlfriends, but how lovely is it to walk into a place and actually have a familiar face that you actually recognize? And I'm of an age where literally, to me, that's what's so blessed about the court system, is that I grew up where drag queens were with drag queens, gay boys were with gay boys, leather boys were with leather boys, and none of them mixed, and the court had this mixture of all of them together.
And because I have been doing drag since early 2000, and I know even within my time, we couldn't come out the house like this. I literally today was able to do this, walk out my house and get in my car and be accepted. So I can imagine what you went through when you began this craft. You know what I mean? And that's why I tell all the girls, learn your history, because you know what? We didn't all have it easy. Just like we went through segregation, we went through racism, drag queens went through the same thing. You fought for equality rights, and a lot of you lost. A lot of lives were lost, and we're still here. And I commend you for that, and I thank you for that, because folks like you give us the opportunity to express our artistic selves.
Thank you so much. It is true, honestly. You know, let's face it, Stonewall started when a drag queen took off her shoe, and she didn't necessarily throw it. She threw it and hit. Girl, she did damage. They came and got her. And that's what started it all, and people forget about that. And you're absolutely right. Knowing your history, knowing where you came from, that's why it's so important this year that we're celebrating our 50th. It's huge. I know some of us, it's hard for us to get on board. We have so much going on in our lives. But when you stop and think of what is happening in our communities and how much good we do. You know, the Matthew Shepard Foundation, we've raised tons of money for cancer research and AIDS and foundations that do all kinds of work in communities all across the country. It's amazing.
And that's why I am a big supporter of the Western Massachusetts Imperial Court, period. No, anytime, because it's about giving to the community, because at the end of the day, we lost sense of that. And a family to me is somebody who I can embrace and call a sister. And you, I can embrace and call a sister. Thank you for this interview, darling.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too, and continue to do many wonderful things anytime. I'm here, and I'll have to come to more events. See me on Facebook, and I'll come out to Boston, and we'll do some exclusive stuff, okay? All right, thank you. Thank you. Everybody say bye to Verna. All right, bye.